Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about my pregnancy update for week 8 through 9. There's a lot that has happened, so stay tuned to find out about all of that. Okay guys, so first off, I'm currently, tomorrow I will be 10 weeks, which is crazy that I'm about to hit double digits in weeks. It's came so fast. And another thing I do want to say as well is welcome to anyone who's new to my channel. Thank you so much for coming along and joining us in this crazy journey. And I just welcome you and thank you, and want to say, give a little bit of background as to we are pregnant due to IVF because we struggled with infertility for almost 6 years. And so we ended up doing IVF. We tried lots of other treatments, natural remedies and IUIs and stuff like that. And IVF was, it was actually our second transfer that ended up working. And we are currently pregnant with triplets because we transferred 2 embryos and both took, but one of them split into identicals. So we have triplets, which is still kind of crazy to say, but we are very thankful and also overwhelmed as well. But we are very excited too. So for this update, I'm going to actually start off by saying a correction from our last video, or my last video that I did where I graduated from the fertility clinic. And in that video, the doctor was saying that the identicals were far apart in the sac and that they would likely have a membrane separating them. And so then I asked, I was like, well, does that mean that they would each have their own placenta? And she was saying that likely they would. And so I was really happy to hear that, because I know that if they share a placenta, there's this issue with a twin transference where one can get more nutrients and blood flow than the other one. So I was like, well, that'd be great if they could each have their own. But I went to an OB actually this past Wednesday at 9 weeks, and she said that no, they will share a placenta anytime they're in the same sac. That's where the placenta grows, is in the sac, and they will share a placenta. So it was only if they were in separate sacs that they would each have their own placenta. So I was like, oh, okay, well that's what I was told at the fertility clinic. And you know, it wasn't like super clear at the fertility clinic either. So I think I kind of just took it and, you know, so I wanted to correct that wrong information. I think some of you had even commented on that video and were like, this is kind of confusing. And yeah, it is, because it's not the case. So the ones that are identical, that are in the same sac, will share a placenta. And, you know, the doctor said that they will keep a very close eye on those babies and, you know, look for that twin transference. And, you know, it's just, you know, it's not like it's likely to happen, but, you know, anyway. So I wanted to update you guys with that it was wrong information that I gave you in the last video. So they will share a placenta, but that fraternal triplet is going to have its own placenta. So, and also just an update from that appointment. I ended up, you know, for any of you who may be doing IVF and go to a fertility clinic that get transferred to a regular OB, I actually went to this regular OB. She did a full, like, physical kind of, and then did the ultrasound and everything. And then she was the one that's referring me to the high-risk doctor, because we're having triplets, we're automatically high risk. So my next appointment will be with the actual high-risk maternal fetal medicine doctor. Sorry, get confused with all these names. But I did get a cute ultrasound picture. She didn't get one of all 3 of them together, but one of the babies was really close to where the camera was, and it's one of the identicals, and you can just see more clearly those little arms and legs. So it was just really fun to see the baby looking like a baby. One of the babies. The other ones were kind of far away, so they're more blurry. It's hard to see. But it was just so cool to see that, and just the little arm like over its face and all of that. So it was just really fun to see that. And we also got to see one of them moving around some too, so that was fun. And actually, if you'll stay tuned to the end of this video, I will put a clip from, because we were able to record at the OB's office, so I'll put a clip from that so you can see some of what we got to see when we were having that ultrasound. So that's a big update just as to some things that have happened. Now, as far as, oh, one more thing too, I forgot to mention, is they did track the heartbeats at this appointment. They do not, this OB that I went to said that they do not do the Doppler, like to hear the heartbeat, until the second trimester. So they basically look at it, and you can kind of see it on the screen, little blips. And of course you can see the heart moving in each baby. So they all look good, by the way. She said they all look really good. And so she did, be able to, so she was able to get the beats per minute for each baby. So that was cool to see. And they were all really high, but she said that that was normal at this stage. It was 9 weeks exactly that day. And they were like, I can't remember exactly, but it was 175 to like 185. They were all close to that. So, but she said that, it is high, but that was normal. So anyway, so that was another update that we got to have at that appointment, which was fun. Another big thing that happened is for my fertility clinic, every fertility clinic is different, but for my fertility clinic, I got to stop all of my meds. So no more PIO shots, no more taking estrogen pills 3 times a day, no more doing the progesterone suppository. Those are all the medications my doctor had me on. Again, every clinic's different. You might not be on all of those exactly, but that's what I was on. And I stopped that actually the day before I was turning 9 weeks exactly. So I was a little nervous. I feel like everyone, I have another friend that has done is doing IVF, or she's pregnant from IVF with me. And we were both just like, yeah, it just seems kind of weird to just quit cold turkey kind of, you, especially with the estrogen, you build up to taking a certain amount, and then just to cut it off just felt weird. So I asked my nurse several times about it, and was just like, I don't need to wean myself off, because, we titrated up, especially with the estrogen. And she's like, no, the babies are producing all the hormones that they need right now. Those placentas are doing that. So I was like, okay, but it was kind of scary really to just stop completely. But, I really didn't have any side effects. And I will say, actually, for the first maybe 2 days after, so maybe not the day after, but the next day, I started having a little bit less symptoms. And not that I was having strong symptoms before, but, maybe a little bit less nausea and stuff like that. So I was thankful for that, and it only lasted a couple of days. But I just wanted to say that yeah, no more shots, no more pills, and no more suppositories. So that's been really nice. And I also want to give an update just on how the PIO shots are going. Someone had commented that they were wondering that, and they were still going really well. I did a video on how I do it, where I lay down on the couch and all of that. I can link that somewhere so you guys can go to that. But that method for me at least was working really well. And what's funny is the second to last day of my shot, so it was like the last shot on this certain hip, I somehow like hit a nerve or something, and I had never done that. And it was kind of like hurting, not too bad, but still like, how that kind of zings. And even as I was injecting it, it was kind of hurting. And I was like, oh man, you know, I'm almost done with this. Why do I, you know, get this one that hurts? And then like my whole leg, like my muscle was really sore, like way more, you know, and I would have a little bit of tenderness before, but not too bad, only if it was like direct like contact there. But this was like using the muscle was sore, and even like kind of going down my leg and all that stuff. So that was not fun. Thankfully, it did subside, but it lasted for several days where, I mean, it would get better and better each day, but I could feel the effects of it for several days. So anyway, that was just an unfortunate thing, I guess. But overall, the PIO shots were not that bad for me. It was great to not have to take them anymore, just to not have to deal with that in the morning was a huge relief. And also not to have to remember to take all those estrogen pills and even the suppository that's just not the best thing, just messy. So I was really thankful to not have to take those medicines anymore. So yeah, so that's another big update. So now getting to symptoms. So I will say my symptoms, some symptoms have changed, some symptoms have gotten worse. I will say the nausea has gotten worse. It is still not that bad. I'm so thankful that mine is very mild. I know some people struggle tremendously with throwing up all the time, not being able to really eat much of anything, and it is mild for me, and I'm so thankful. But I will say the nausea for me has gotten worse, where it's more consistent throughout the day. It's not really kind of going away as easily as it did with those remedies that I had talked about in a couple of videos back that were helping me. You know, some things are still helping. The sparkling water is helping, but then it kind of helps at first and then it comes back quicker. So, and then sometimes when I would eat, if I couldn't, you know, if I ate something I felt like I could eat, then I would feel, you know, good for several hours after that. But now it seems like it's just kind of, sometimes I don't feel good after I eat. Sometimes I feel like I just can't eat at all, even if it's something like there's just nothing I feel like I can eat. So that's been different, and it comes and goes still. There are some moments that are better than others, but I do kind of feel like I'm almost feeling like I'm forcing myself to eat sometimes, just because I feel like I need to, because I have 3 babies growing inside of me. But, you know, sometimes are not as bad as others. It does fluctuate. And if I feel like I can eat, I eat. And I've also kind of noticed sometimes when I feel like it's something I can eat, I'll eat a lot. I mean, because I'm like, I can eat this, so I'm going to keep eating. And I kind of have to stop myself before I maybe would normally if I wasn't pregnant. Because I've noticed if I get too full, then I will feel pretty bad afterwards. Even if it's something I feel like it's not really upsetting my stomach at the moment, it'll just get bad afterwards. So I have to not get too full, if that makes sense. So that's been a little bit, you know, not the funnest thing to experience. And especially since the beginning, it was just like, oh, this is like pretty easy, and I just eat some crackers and drink some soda water and I'm pretty good, you know. But now it just is more of a thing that I'm feeling more throughout the day, and kind of combating more and trying remedies more, where, you know, before maybe it was just in the morning and maybe afternoon, but now it's kind of going through the day more. I've also been having some headaches. They've been mild, not too bad, but that's been kind of a newer thing that I wasn't having before. Another thing is before I was having like diarrhea some. Now, recently I've not been having that, but I will say that I've been struggling maybe a little bit the other way. Not that things are still regular, but it's just been a little bit tougher to pass, a little bit firmer, if you guys understand what I'm talking about. So that's been kind of different in that arena. And I will say I've also been sleeping better, so I'm thankful for that. I feel like I'm not having those kind of insomnia moments where I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I just cannot go back to sleep. I feel like I'm able to go back to sleep better. I'm still waking up pretty much every night to pee, So I've also been more tired, which is funny that I'm sleeping better, but I'm more tired. And I think it's just that pregnancy tiredness is starting to hit. It's not extreme. I know some people have it really bad, but I usually, maybe not every day, but a lot of days, I will take like a 20-minute nap or something, and I never take naps before. So that's, you know, kind of a sign to me that, okay, yeah, I think I am getting more tired. So yeah, those are really the things. I have some things written down over here, but you know, my breasts are still kind of tender. So I think that's part of it, definitely. But those are really the main physical symptoms that I've been feeling the past couple of weeks. So yeah, and I will show you guys my belly now. So I'm currently, I guess, almost 10 weeks, like I said. So, and it's definitely, in the morning, it's kind of more flat, and then as the day goes on, it kind of pooches out more, but it's definitely, you know, kind of got a little pooch there. And sometimes I feel like when my stomach is not feeling well, like if I'm having the bad nausea feeling, like last night, I was not feeling well, and it was just booging out more than right now. So it's just kind of, I feel like it kind of fluctuates some, but it is, you know, I guess kind of starting to stick out a little bit. And I know with triplets, it's going to happen much faster than if I had a singleton in there. So yeah, that's to come, definitely. And you guys will get to see that progression. So, yeah, but anyway. So yeah, I will include a little clip of the ultrasound that we had, so make sure to watch that. And would love to hear from you guys, just how you're doing and some of you that have, you know, recently been pregnant and all of that, just any symptoms you have, and others, and even like some other remedies maybe you have that are really helpful. But overall, I am very thankful that I will say my symptoms have been pretty mild. So I really don't have a lot to complain about when some people are just throwing up all the time. Oh, I will say, I forgot this one. I have not thrown up, but I came very, very close the other night. I was brushing my teeth and I gagged, and it was like right there. And I think if I was someone who was more okay with throwing up, not that anyone enjoys that, I probably would have just allowed myself to throw up, hoping I would feel better. But I just hate throwing up so much. And I was also about to go to bed. So I was just like, I just need to get in bed, lay down, and just calm this boat so I don't rock the boat and throw up. So, but that was really the only time I came super close. There have been a couple other times when I'm like burping and stuff, and I'm like, oh, like I hope I don't, it's not that I'm gonna throw up or something, but anyway. But I know this is a long update. There's just been a lot that's happened, so I wanted to fill you guys in, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.